Of course, there is always the Nintendo Switch giveaway you can enter by clicking the link below to Gleam, but now that we've reached 85k, we'll also give away this first 4 figures Link statue along with a copy of Breath of the Wild.
So, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and the Nintendo Switch are both releasing in less than 1 week. Can you believe it? And a whole lot of people across the world are going to suddenly take a whole lot of sick days. As with the release of any console, the console itself and the games are only 2 parts of the puzzle. The Switch isn't even out yet, and we're already seeing a somewhat large array of first and third-party accessories and peripherals heading to market. Controllers, stands, grips, you name it, it's probably there. The only problem though, just getting a few extra controllers will run you almost the same money as the Switch console itself. The Switch will retail for the suggested price of about $300. The Pro controller will hit you at about $70. Another set of Joy-Cons will be around $80, and another docking station is set at a whopping $90. So let's just hope that Nintendo doesn't release a 4-player party game anytime soon, or else a lot of families out there are gonna have to make some tough decisions. But jokes aside, gaming has never been a cheap hobby, and Nintendo is in no rush to change this. So let's say you worked some extra hours, took on some extra shifts, gave a few handies here and there, and you saved up a nice chunk of change. What should you buy on March 3rd? Well, let's start with the controllers. Unless you have hands like Donald Trump, you might be hungry for a larger, more conventional, beefy controller. The Pro controller is pretty much a must at this point. The Joy-Cons are great and you can feel ice cubes or whatever, but sometimes you just want a good old-fashioned controller that you're used to. The Switch Pro controller is pretty much exactly the same as the Wii U controller, and that is fine by me. The Pro controller was one of my personal favorites, and I'm glad to see it coming back for the new generation. But if you really want that Pro controller feeling, and you don't mind dealing with the long cords getting all tangled up and stuff, Hori is releasing their own version of the Pro controller. And this one even comes with a turbo button, which may not sound like such a big deal, but I've actually found myself using turbo buttons in a variety of situations, so to me this sounds like a pretty good idea. The price for the UK and EU is around £30/euros, so I imagine the US price will also be around $30. Which is actually much cheaper than everywhere else, but what you gonna do? But of course, you get no Joy-Con charging or wireless functionality, but the trade-off is that you get the form factor and button layout for cheap. Next up, we have the Hori Compact Play Stand, which is more or less a beefed up version of the kickstand that already comes with the Switch. Personally, I don't see much use for this, as the table mode on the Switch seems, in my opinion, barely playable as it is. However, if you use the Switch in table mode, let's say on an airplane for example, this could be useful, but having an extra accessory just means there's one more thing to carry and one more thing you could lose. It just makes the system that much less portable. And for $12.99, it might be better to put that money towards a bigger SD card. Next up, we have the Joy-Con Charging Grip, which, as you might imagine, charges your Joy-Cons while you play and adds a more comfortable grip on the back. Form factor wise, this is nearly identical to the Joy-Con grip that already comes with the Switch, except this one charges the Joy-Cons using USB-C. The pack-in does not. Of course, you can also charge the Joy-Cons by having them plugged into the system itself, but if you're playing with friends or doing something that requires you to have the Joy-Cons separated and they die on you, you have no choice but to plug them back into the system. For me right now, this doesn't seem like that big of a deal, as my Joy-Cons will be plugged in and charging in the system when I'm not using them anyway. So right now, I can't imagine this being of any use, but come this time next year, I might have 5 of these things in my room, so who knows? And for only $30, it might make a good replacement for the Pro controller, as functionally it's nearly identical, and lets you charge your Joy-Cons without having to redock them on the tablet. So if you can't afford a Pro controller, this might be a good alternative. And finally, we have the Switch Messenger Bag, because some people just aren't socially awkward enough, am I right? But seriously, this bag does come with a protection shell for the tablet itself. So instead of spending all that money on the whole case and the whole carry bag, you could save yourself about $10 and go for the Nintendo Switch Starter Kit. At only $30, you get a special carrying case for the Switch, slots for 12 games, ironically enough, a screen protector, Joy-Con armor guards, now that sounds cool, and even some earphones. On top of that, you can choose between a Zelda edition, Mario Icon edition, Mario M edition, and the regular Nintendo Switch edition. So this is actually a really good deal for anyone thinking of buying a Switch. I mean, you get all this for 30 bucks? Not bad, Nintendo, not bad. The 3DS has a clamshell design that protects both screens while it's in your pocket or in your bag. The Switch, being a one-screen tablet, is just open to the elements. You throw it in your bag with your half-eaten Jimmy John's sandwich and suddenly, boom, you've got mustard all over the screen. But the protection shell that comes with it is all but essential for people who plan on taking this thing on the go on a regular basis. And then of course you also have the analog stick grip pads, but like, why? So, here we have some accessories that will be available on launch day with the Nintendo Switch. Which ones will be best for you depends completely on how you plan on playing your Switch. If you're like me and you plan on playing it mostly on your TV or while lying in bed, the Pro Controller or the charging grip might be a good investment. If you plan on being someone who takes it on the go a lot, you'll definitely need to look at that carry pouch thing at the very least. And a Pro Controller might not do you much good, but it's all up to you and how you want to play. So, how do you plan on playing your Switch, and what accessories do you plan on buying? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget that in just a few days we're going to have a Zelda accessory video as well, and you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.